Modernity in Colombia has made speaking English transform from an extra desired skill to a straight necessity for competitiveness. Therefore, English courses are not longer targeted to a certain age range. As a consequence of that, and the current century mindset in where all processes must be speed up and done perfectly with the less possible investment of time and resources, there are advertisements every day in all media promoting thousands of English courses which promise to teach, or even more than that, to train students of all ages to speak English in a high proficiency level in a short period of time and with little effort. And even though there are several schools of thought that can be used and adapted to build a suitable curriculum which allows to teach a language as English in a more efficient way for the student's context, there is still a questioning on what really happens in those virtual and in-person classes. Is it really possible to combine language learning practices that can meet those expectations on both processes and results? Learning a language is not as simple as the media makes it look like. It requires a wider understanding of all the cognitive, linguistic, semiotic, psychological, and sociocultural processes an individual has to go through to acquire a certain level of competence, as well as recognizing the conditions that make that process successful and the nature of the learning proposal. But between theorization and everyday exposure to English learning and teaching practices, there is a longitudinal matter that, due to its diverse perspectives among recognized authors, demands an extra focus on grammar. If referring to English native speakers, grammar is important because misuse can lead to a wrong meaning or a bad interpretation of the message, giving a poor image of the person's educational background. On the other end of the spectrum, English as a second language students and teachers have a different appraisal of grammar and its role in the learning process. There are as many orders and learning approaches as appreciations of grammar's ideal performance within the classroom, and some innovative others that go beyond that context.
In advance of experience, the child is already equipped with an understanding of the basic structure of any human language. So we know, even in advance of inquiry, that there's going to be a fundamental invariant core to language.
Linguists have come to use the term universal grammar. It's a notion that there's some underlying set of characteristics that are true of all languages all over the world.
All human languages have something that is sort of nouny and something that is sort of verby. They all do.
Trying to find general principles regarding social sciences sounds contradictory to the nature of the disciplines itself. In accordance to that, the real focus to find a satisfactory response on grammar's role in today's English classroom must be one in which the context and the educational precedents are determining features. Then, in conformity with the previous statement, how is English being taught in Colombian classrooms? It has been noticed throughout the recent teaching practices that there are deep changes on the way students learn English and its grammar from elementary to high school levels. Most of the students are clueless about the grammar content on their fill-in-blank exercises, and usually they don't have a real comprehension on the sentence meanings or the vocabulary in them. It's truly contradictory if students are being educated as described, and Colombian education strategies aim to transform new generations into bilingual citizens. It's clear that English curriculums are not consequent and aligned with government goals or any practice that lead to a real understanding of the language and its grammar content. Despite of the previous, there are some institutions, especially referring to English teaching academies and bilingual schools, that do put an emphasis on the introducing and understanding of grammar, helping students to have a real comprehension of the language. The role of grammar in today's English Colombian classrooms is insufficient and in some cases not existing at all. Grammar learning has been labeled as a negative boring abstraction within the process of a language acquisition when it, in fact, represents the entire system, composition, and organization of it. The challenge for today's English teachers is to integrate different learning approaches that are in accordance with the needs of the students in the classroom. There is not an exact procedure to be used in a language learning process, but it's clear that grammar should have more prominence in it than it has nowadays.